Okay, so the reason you're here is because you have a lawn or another area which is too steep to cut with a lawnmower or a string trimmer, and you're wondering, what am I going to do? Well, I had the same problem, and I found a couple of videos on YouTube that showed people who had adapted a string trimmer to a wheeled platform so that they could drop it down the slope back and forth and be able to cut the grass that way. The problem was, with the other videos that I found, there were no good definite instructions in how they put it together to make the whole thing work with specifics. So I decided to try to figure this out on my own, and after some trial and error was able to come up with what I think is a pretty good solution, and I'd like to share that for anybody who might be interested. The first thing to notice is that this is a basic Black & Decker model GH900 string trimmer, which is currently still available. I think I got this at Home Depot. It's a currently sold model, and the advantage is, first of all, I already had it and I didn't have to go out and buy another one, but it has the auto string loading features, so that you don't have to bump it on the ground to load a new string when the string gets too short. So that was important, because obviously that's going to be something that's going to be an issue for this. You need to have some way to auto advance the string. Now what you'll see here is, first of all, I took the handle part of the string trimmer and took it apart. There are some screws that the whole thing comes apart pretty easily, and I spliced in a section of electric cord that I had, which just is a plain two-pronged electric cord, and I've got it duct taped down here around the base, but I'll probably put some string ties on this. You could put a switch in here if you want to and splice that in line, a little on-off switch. I decided not to do that. What I was most concerned about was how to mount this thing to the deck, and this was the issue I had with the other videos, that wasn't made clear. So you'll notice in the picture that I'm showing of the trimmer prior to taking it apart, there's a little orange wheel which is added to enable you to turn the trimmer 90 degrees for edging. And if you take that wheel off, there's a screw that allows you to take it off. You can drill through the center, and I'm showing that right here. I had to enlarge the hole a little bit to be able to put a 1/4-inch bolt in there, but basically I used that same plastic attachment piece as one of the attachment points to mount the trimmer to the deck. I'll just note right here that the piece of deck plywood that I used is 1/4-inch. I think it's a birch plywood that I just happen to have. If I had to go out and buy some, I might have bought something a little thicker. I thought probably 1/2 inch was overkill, and I had this piece of plywood, so I just decided to use it. I did try to stabilize it with the additional wood pieces you see to make it more rigid, and of course I've got the the frame underneath, which I'll show you as well. Now the wheels are attached with bolt kits that are standard and come with the standard wheels that you can buy. These are 8-inch wheels. I got these at Lowe's. Home Depot also has a variety of different sizes. The diameter of the wheels vary a good bit, but the wheel kit, the bolt part, is a standard size, and I'll show you a picture of what I got. It'll fit any diameter wheel that you want to get there. These are 8-inch wheels, and that gives me about a 3-inch clearance for the trimmer, and I'll show you that in a minute. The aluminum pieces that the wheels are bolted to can be bought both at Lowe's and in Home Depot, and there are a couple of varieties. They come in both steel and aluminum. Since I had to drill the holes for the mounting, I decided aluminum would be easier to drill through, and actually it was pretty easy just with a standard drill bit kit that I had, which was basically for wood boring, but it drills through this thin aluminum pretty easily, and it's plenty strong enough for the purpose that I'm using this, so I don't see any reason to use steel. What I want to show you here is I have 3 attachment points, and of course the grass guard is not removed. And one reason I decided not to remove it, in addition to the fact that it made it easier to attach, find some way to attach it, is that in the instructions for this trimmer they specifically say not to remove it because it could cause some problems with heating. And I see there's some vents on the bottom, and of course there's some vents on the top, probably for airflow. So that was another reason that I decided just to work with what I had and basically try to find some way to bolt this whole thing onto the plywood platform. Now what I want to show here is how I have the platform mounted to the deck. The spacers that you can see between the grass guard and the deck are because there needs to be some way to support this with a little gap that's necessary to keep everything parallel. Those plastic spacers actually came as part of the wheels that I bought, and I just reused those in order to get the right distance. I have a washer, a metal washer too. So you basically just work with the distance until you have the base of the trimmer parallel to your deck. And you can see I've got 2 attachment points on the back side, and then the one on the front, which is where I had the removed that orange trimmer wheel. And here you can see the unit with the bottom of the trimmer protruding out parallel with good, it looks like it's got a pretty good degree of parallel to the base, and we've got about 3 inches of cutting height for our cutting deck. The only way to change that cutting height is going to be to put different size wheels on there. And the wheels come in lots of different sizes. These are 8-inch wheels, and I got plastic wheels, by the way, because first of all they're cheaper, they're also lighter, and strength or carrying capacity is not really an issue for this particular use. So these are plastic wheels, and the price of the wheels is about $10 a piece, and actually that was my most expensive purchase. I had to buy the bolts. These are 1/4-inch bolts that I used, and the aluminum pieces for the wheels. But all in all, I spent about $60 total, not including the cost of the string trimmer, which I already had. And I think hopefully we'll get a pretty good result with this, and we'll see. Well, I think you can tell from that pretty brief demo that even though I didn't have the electric cord attached too well, the trimmer works pretty well. Just pulling it up and down the hill, back and forth, it's not very heavy, pretty easy. Just attach your electric cord a little better and I think you'll be happy. I know I am.